We just watched the coaching staff get flipped upside down. We're talking about real change, new voices, new leadership, new energy. And now the spotlight shifts to the roster. And suddenly, two completely different types of moves are being connected to us. One feels like protecting the foundation. The other feels like swinging for the fences. And here's the thing, both matter. A lot. One story is about keeping what's already working. The other is about chasing something explosive, something that could completely change the feel of this offense overnight. And depending on how this front office handles it, it could either show patience and discipline or full-on aggression. Before we dive into it, if you're a real Bills fan who lives and breathes this team every single day, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to Bills Nation Update. We're a new channel, and we're pushing toward our first 2,000 subscribers. If you care about honest, passionate Bills talk from someone who feels every snap like you do, you're in the right place. All right. Let's get into the first one. And this one might not be flashy, but it's absolutely critical. CBS Sports' Zachary Perellis just named the Buffalo Bills as the ideal landing spot for 3 of the top 50 pending free agents this offseason. And what's interesting? 2 of those guys are already ours. First up, David Edwards, ranked number 25 on the list. One of the key pieces of our offensive line, and according to Perellis, keeping this unit together should be at the very top of Brandon Beane's priority list. And he's right. We don't have much cap room. That's not news to anybody. But when you finally build an outstanding offensive line in front of Josh Allen, you don't just let it fall apart. You don't mess with continuity, especially not now. Perellis even mentioned other teams that could go after Edwards, the Browns, the Lions, the Giants. So this isn't some quiet, under-the-radar situation. There will be competition. And if we hesitate, someone else could make a serious push. Then there's Connor McGovern, ranked number 27, the man snapping the ball to Josh Allen every single play. That connection matters more than people realize. Continuity at center is huge. Timing, communication, protection calls, chemistry. You don't casually replace that and expect everything to run smoothly. Perellis flat out said Buffalo would do well to keep the guy who snaps the ball to Josh Allen. And again, he's not wrong. The Bengals and Lions are potential suitors there. So this isn't automatic. If Beane doesn't move carefully, we could lose both of them. Now here's where it gets interesting. The one outside free agent linked to us in that top 50 list, David Onyemata, ranked number 50, 33 years old. Originally a 4th-round pick back in 2016. Spent 7 seasons with the Saints before signing with the Falcons in 2023. And in 2025, he graded out as a top 10 interior defensive lineman. Top 10. That's not nothing. At 6'4", 310 pounds, he brings versatility, can line up inside, can shift around. And let's be real, after the injury mess we dealt with on the defensive front in 2025, we need bodies. We need toughness. We need run defense. Perellis even pointed out that the Bills need all the help they can get against the run, and Onyemata could be that one-year stabilizer in the middle. But here's the tension. We don't have cap space. We're tight. Brandon Beane has to juggle this carefully, keeping Edwards, keeping McGovern, potentially adding Onyemata. That's about protecting structure, protecting balance, making sure Josh is protected and the run defense doesn't collapse again. It's smart football. It's disciplined football. But what if the front office is thinking bigger than discipline? What if, instead of just preserving what we have, They are seriously considering adding a true game-changing weapon to this offense, even if it stretches the budget to its absolute limit. Because the second report? That one isn't about maintaining, it's about making a statement. And trust me, this one could completely change the way defenses look at Buffalo next season. Let's talk about it. Now we get to the one that's got people arguing in group chats already. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox just named the Buffalo Bills as one of the top 2 landing spots for the #1 free agent on his entire list this spring. Number 1. And that player? George Pickens. Yes, that George Pickens. Let's break this down properly because there's a lot here. First off, we all know Brandon Beane has made it clear that wide receiver is a priority this offseason. That's not speculation. That's straight from the front office. We need another weapon. Period. The big question has always been how. Do we go through the draft? Do we try to pull off a blockbuster trade? Or do we make a splash in free agency? Realistically, with Buffalo sitting $7.4 million over the cap right now, the draft feels like the safest path. Cheap rookie contracts, controlled spending, long-term planning. But Knox is thinking differently. He ranked George Pickens as the top free agent available. And after what he did in 2025, it's hard to argue with the talent. 93 receptions, 1,429 yards, 9 touchdowns, Pro Bowl selection, second team All-Pro. That's elite production. And remember, Pickens spent 2025 with the Dallas Cowboys. They traded a third-round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers to get him last offseason. Originally, he was a second-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft by Pittsburgh. The talent was always there. The Steelers saw it. The Cowboys saw it. But Pittsburgh moved on because of behavioral issues. They got tired of it. Even in Dallas, there were still some concerning moments. But to be fair, he was more controlled than he was in Pittsburgh. He matured. Not perfect, but better. He's 24 years old, still entering his prime. Now here's where it gets scary. Knox is projecting a 4-year, $125 million contract. That's over $30 million per year. For a team that is already over the cap, yes, Buffalo can restructure deals. Josh Allen's contract could be adjusted to free up space. We could release certain players. We could move money around like we've done before. But let's be honest, if Pickens is making over $30 million annually, he eats up most of what we can realistically create. That's not a small move. That's not depth signing money. That's franchise-altering financial commitment. Now from a football standpoint, imagine Pickens with Josh Allen. Deep balls, contested catches, explosive plays, a true outside threat that forces defenses to back up. And let's be real, you'd have to imagine Pickens keeps himself in check if Josh Allen is the one throwing him the football. When you've got a quarterback like that, you tend to focus up. But this front office has always valued culture, chemistry, stability. And after just reshaping the coaching staff and trying to keep the offensive line intact, do they really want to gamble that kind of money and that kind of personality risk on one player? In theory, it's electric. In reality, it might simply be too expensive for Buffalo's taste. And that's where this whole thing ties together. One path is discipline. Retain Edwards, retain McGovern, maybe bring in Onyemata on a short-term deal, protect Josh, fix the run defense, stay balanced. The other path? It's aggression. It's star power. It's pushing chips to the center of the table for a dynamic playmaker who could change the entire feel of the offense overnight. Together, these two stories tell us exactly where the Bills are right now. This is a decisive offseason. We're not rebuilding. We're not tearing it down. But we are at a crossroads. Are we doubling down on structure and continuity? Or are we taking a calculated swing to finally get over that playoff hump? Personally, I think Brandon Beane plays it smart. I think the line gets priority. I think we add receiver help, but probably through the draft, not a $125 million splash. But man, if somehow they pull it off, the AFC better be ready. If you made it this far, drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you pay George Pickens that kind of money? Or would you lock up the trenches and build smart? And hey, if you're enjoying real, honest Bills talk like this, make sure you like the video. Subscribe to Bills Nation Update. We're a new channel trying to build something special here, and we're pushing toward our first 2,000 subscribers. If you're a true member of Bills Mafia and you want passionate, unfiltered opinions every single week, join us. This offseason is just getting started, and it's about to get interesting.